On Global TV News Express, Akpabio denies allegations amid Senate tensions. In business, Federal Executive Council approves 10.3 billion naira for HIV drugs, diabetes kits and other medical supplies. And on the foreign scene, Trump issues last warning to Hamas as U.S. confirmed direct hostage talks. And in sport, the Super Falcons retain global position. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on ICOMSAT. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. A president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has categorically denied allegations of sexual harassment made against him by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, the Kogi Central Senator, which is now before a court of competent jurisdiction. Akpabio denials come amidst a backdrop of political tension and public debate, with some calling for his resignation and others defending his integrity. Samuel Odi has the details.
The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, at the start of the preliminary section emphasized that he has always upheld respect for women and recognized them as most gender-friendly governor in Nigeria during his tenure. He urged the public to await the court's decision on the matter rather than drawing conclusions prematurely.
Since the 28th day of February 2025, over some spurious allegations making the rounds in the social media and on television about a purported harassment of the distinguished Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. While I am aware that the matters are in court, however, I would like to state clearly that at no time did I ever attempt any sexual harassment on the said distinguished Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan or any other woman for that matter. I and my siblings were raised very well by my late single mother. She died in year 2000, through very difficult times, and I therefore have the highest regards for women. Even at demise, I still cry till today. I also wish to state that I also have 4 beautiful daughters. So at no time will I ever harass any woman, and I've never done so.
Meanwhile, a petition submitted by Senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti, caused a stir in the Senate chamber.
The petition is in my name against the President of the Nigerian Senate, His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio, for sexual harassment, abuse of office, and malicious obstruction of my legislative functions. You may recall, sir, that on Friday in Arise TV, I did make some statements. And I have decided to narrow these statements in a formal petition against the President of this Senate. So if it may please you, I would humbly step forward and lay this petition. Thank you.
You may proceed.
The Federal Road Safety Court, that is FRSC, has appealed to Nigerian public to comply with traffic laws and regulations with a view to reducing high rate of crashes on the roads. The FRSC spokesman, Olusegun Ogungbemide, says the public support and cooperation is essential in ensuring a safe and secure monitoring environment. Ogungbemide, who expressed concern over the high rate of casualties on Nigerian roads, attributes its impunity and disregard for traffic laws. The Rivers State House of Assembly, led by Martin Amaule, has called on Governor Siminalaya Fubara to sack all commissioners within 48 hours and submit a new list of nominees for appointment within the same time. The development follows Governor Fubara's denial of receiving any letter from the Amaule-led House, which gave him a 48-hour ultimatum to present the 2025 budget before the House. In a swift reaction, the state government says the 27 lawmakers were acting on the figment of their imagination, overstepping their bounds and further heating up the polity with their demands. As fasting continues among Muslims all over the world, residents in Kano says a relative reduction in the price of goods and services is being recorded. Global TV correspondent Idris Jibril reports hundreds of residents are storming the market on daily basis.
It's been 5 days since the beginning of Ramadan fast in Nigeria. Markets during this important period are usually busy. From fruits to vegetables, food items to clothes, traders are smiling here. It's been long since we had this huge reduction in price. Apart from some goods from Singa Market, everything here is cheap now. We used to sell this rice at the cost of 4,500 naira, but now it has reduced to 4,000 naira. Beans is now 2,500 naira per measure, compared to 3,000 naira before Ramadan. Millet is now 1,600 naira as against 1,700 naira. According to Kano residents, most commodities price has reduced, but not as expected, which is why people's purchasing power appeared on the increase.
I used to buy these beans 3.5, 3.7, but today I bought it 2.5. I don't know whether they will continue like this or they will stop for many time.
Vegetable and other perishable goods used to be very cost, but not anymore, as the prices of tomato, pepper, onions, and other perishable goods record a sharp reduction in price. Before now, a bag of pepper cost 30,000 naira, but now it's 20,000 naira. A small measure of 1,000 naira is now sold at 700 naira. Tomato used to be 19,000 naira, but now it's less than 15,000 naira. While customers continues to troop in for their daily iftar shopping, food items continues to arrive by the truckload. From Kano, Idris Jibril reporting for Global Television News.
State Governor Hope Uzodinma has reiterated his administration's commitments to partner with the military in order to sustain peace and security in Imo State. The governor made this known during a courtesy visit by the General Officer Commanding 82 Division, Nigeria Army, Enugu, Major General Olufemi Olatoye at the Government House in Owerri. Our correspondent Amarachi Ibe reports.
Major General Olatoye and other security heads at the Sambakwe Esco Chambers. Governor Uzodinma emphasized the strong collaboration between the state government, security agencies, and the people of Imo. He assured the new GOC of his administration's continued support in creating a secure and conducive environment for residents and businesses.
On our own part, we will give you every support, every cooperation to ensure that the people of Southeast and residents here will have peace and be able to go about their businesses without fear of any molestation. It's our hope that you will continue with the speed and determination you have used all this while to ensure that the public interest will be protected.
Governor Uzodinma noted that the state aligns with the President Bola Tinubu's renewed strategy for national security and highlighted the improved interagency cooperation in the state, which he said has contributed to significant security improvements. He urged the military to intensify efforts in ensuring stability across the state.
Inform you that in Imo State, we have the best interagency cooperation, where both the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the police, the DSS are working together. For the past 6 years, we have never witnessed any rivalry among our agencies in Imo State. It's a credit that we also want other states to emulate.
In his remarks, Major General Olatunji said his visit was aimed at familiarizing himself with the state's leadership and reaffirming the military's commitment to its security mandate. He commended Governor Uzodimma for his proactive approach to governance and encouraged the continued use of non-kinetic strategy in tackling security threats.
The visit is actually designed for me to ascertain the operational readiness of Sector 4, appraise the challenges as well as their successes. It is equally a time for me to appeal to Your Excellency that you should not be tired in the coordination of all non-kinetic measures to eradicate all threats to security in Imo State.
As security remains a priority, both the Imo State government and the Nigerian Army are strengthening their partnership to enhance peace and development across the state. From Government House, Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV.
And to Benue State now, where the government has signed a one-year work plan of understanding with United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund for the promotion of nutrition among children and women. The Deputy Governor, Sam Ode, on behalf of the government, assured them of maximum cooperation in order to provide basic resources for the Benue child. Facility Ndere reports.
The Memorandum of Understanding between the Benue State Government and UNICEF is for the improvement in child indices in the state. The Chief Field Officer, UNICEF, Enugu Field Office, Ms. Juliet Chiluwe, says the multi-year work plan of 2025 to 2027 is the joint commitment towards the realization of the rights of children and women in the current country program of cooperation of 2023 to 2027.
We are requesting for the Benue government in terms of their domestic resources to allocate at least 1% of its domestic budget towards strengthening of the primary health care. So it means if the government is able to put such amount of money for PHC, would be able to eradicate zero dose, polio, malnutrition, and the like.
The Deputy Governor, Sam Ode, who performed the ceremony on behalf of the state government, said the role of UNICEF towards nutrition social policy development can never be overemphasized, assuring them of maximum cooperation to the full implementation of the work plan.
For us, we consider it as an emergency, and I must tell you here on behalf of the governor that we are committed to our own part of this bargain. All the counterpart funding we need to put in place to match whatever you are doing so that we can deliver on the expected objectives. The Benue State government is going to do so.
The UNICEF Chief Field Officer said, with due process and diligence, the work plan will be achieved as it aligns with the present administration's policy to adequately manage the well-being of vulnerable people in the state. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere, Global TV News.
The federal government has reviewed plans to reduce the number of custodian facilities in the country, declaring that Nigeria does not need the current figure of 256 ministers of interior. Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo disclosed this in Abuja at the public hearing on alleged corruption and other violations against the Nigerian Correctional Service, organized by the Independent Investigative Panel on the alleged corruption, abuse of power, torture, cruel, inhumane and degrading treatment against the Nigerian Correctional Service. The minister noted that some facilities are only utilizing about 30 to 40% of their current capacity. He says there is need to identify inmates with federal offenses with a view to redistributing across the custodian facilities, since virtually every state has a federal high court. The Catholic Bishop of Enugu Diocese, Most Reverend Callistus Onaga, has urged Nigerians to use the 2025 Lenten season to seek true repentance and shun evil. Onaga made the call in his Lenten message to Nigerians in Enugu. Lent is the 40-day fasting and praying period by Christians all over the world, leading to Easter celebration. A militant group, Niger Delta Rescue Movement, has threatened to attack oil installations in the Niger Delta region over the seizure of their location due to Rivers State. Also, the group, under the protection of the Niger Delta Rescue Movement, call on all non-indigens living in Rivers State to live in their interest and safety, pointing out that hostility are about to begin. They said the action of the Martin Amaole-led 27 lawmakers is to cause anarchy in the state and pave the way for declaration of a state of emergency. You're watching the live broadcast of the News Express. When the News Express returns, Trump issues last warning to Hamas as United States confirm direct hostage talks. We have those details from the world of business as well as more stories from the foreign scene and sports segment for you right after the break.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
The second part of the news broadcast return with business, where the Federal Executive Council, that is FEC, has approved contracts worth 10.3 billion naira for the procurement of essential medical supplies, including antiretroviral drugs for HIV treatment, basic kits, and other critical health commodities. Speaking after the fourth FEC meeting of the year, the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Ali Pate, noted that the approval is aimed at enhancing the accessibility and affordability of health commodities, health service by Nigerians. The federal government has pledged its commitments to implementing the end-of-life vehicle regulation. This aims to protect the environment and transform waste into economic opportunities. Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Senator John Eno, made this known at a stakeholders engagement organized by the National Automotive Design and Development Council, that is NADDC, in Lagos. He stated that Nigeria has the potential to develop a multi-billion-dollar industry from waste, creating a vast and valuable economic chain. The Federal Ministry of Youth Development, the Niger Delta Government, and the National Agricultural Land Development Authority, that is NALDA, have signed a memorandum to engage 100,000 Nigerian youths in agriculture. The agreement aimed at supporting food security and job creation was signed at the council chamber of the Government House in Minna, Niger State. The signing ceremony was attended by the Minister of Youth Development, Comrade Ayodele Olawande, Niger State Governor, Farmer Mohammed Umar Bago, Chairman of Niger Foods, Sami Adigun, and the CEO Executive Secretary, of NALDA, Cornelius Oluwasegun Adebayo. And now on the foreign scene, a Russian missile attack on a hotel has killed 4 people in President Zelensky's hometown in Ukraine. Zelensky says volunteers from a humanitarian organization, including US and UK citizens, were staying at the hotel, but left their rooms before the attack. It's the second time in 5 months the building in Kyiv Rhin has been attacked. U.S. President Donald Trump has issued what he called a last warning to Hamas to release the hostages being held in Gaza. Trump said in a lengthy post on his Truth social platform that he is sending Israel everything it needs to finish the job. Hamas accused the U.S. president of encouraging Israel to break the ceasefire deal currently in effect between the two sides. Trump's statement came just hours after the White House confirmed it was holding direct talks with Hamas over the remaining hostages. The United Nations World Health Organization (WHO) has cautioned that severe funding cuts, particularly by the United States, are threatening decades of progress in the battle against tuberculosis, that is TB, which remains the world's deadliest infectious disease. The health agency warned that the essential prevention, testing and treatment services are collapsing, putting millions at risk. The hardest hit regions include Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Western Pacific, where national tuberculosis programs depend heavily on international support. And now in sports, Nigeria's senior women's football team, the Super Falcons, have held on to their 36th position in the latest FIFA Global Ranking, according to the list released. The Super Falcons also remain the top-ranked women's football team in Africa, underscoring their dominance on the continent. South Africa, Morocco, Zambia, and Ghana are the other countries in the top 5. Gianni Infantino says the 2026 World Cup final in New Jersey will make history by having a Super Bowl-style halftime show. World Football Chief, he says, could play band members Chris Martin and Phil Harvey will determine their artists will perform. Infantino revealed the decision following a meeting of FIFA's commercial and media partners in Dallas ahead of the 2026 tournament, which will be co-hosted in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. As Global TV News Express come to an end, let's take a look at the top stories. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has categorically denied allegations of sexual harassment made against him by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduahan, which is now before a court of competent jurisdiction. And in the world of business, the Federal Executive Council, that is FEC, has approved contracts worth 16.3 billion naira for the procurement of essential medical supplies, including antiretroviral drugs for HIV treatment, diabetes diagnostic kits, and other critical health commodities. Now on the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump has issued what he called a last warning to Hamas to release the hostages being held in Gaza. And in sports, Nigeria's senior women's football team, the Super Falcons, have held on to their 36th position in the last FIFA Global Ranking, according to the list released. And that's it on News Express. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nicomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigerian app for Android and iOS. I am Ramsey Enoch. Thanks for watching.